Holy guacamole, the number of wild comments made on my last video was absolutely crazy. We all know the price of houses has skyrocketed, but if you've just found one of those too good to be true deals, guess what? There's a sucker born every minute. So don't be a sucker. It could be a big trap, or it could be a big lie. Now, as you know, I'm doing these videos to educate the public and to help you to avoid the pitfalls that are costly. So here are 13 must-know things to do before buying one of those cheap, affordable homes. It's what to look for and what to stay away from. So give me a thumbs up if you're good with that. Yeah, it's a deal, but why? Now here's 13 reasons to walk away. Number one, looks good online. Shows a nice ranch house, empty lot next door because they scraped the house off of that lot. And then when you walk down the street to see another home, it's up on stilts. What's up with that? Guess what? It flooded the last time, and it's going to flood again the next time. It's high and dry today, but physics tells us that water and rain will always flow to the low areas every time. So check those flood maps before you put in that offer. Now, even if it's not located in a flood zone, use your eyes and look at where it's located. Now, my real estate team saw a 4-year-old house. It was sold as is for less than others in this neighborhood. So then when we toured the house, we noticed it had a crack by the chimney. And so it had a separation where water had come in from the roof. Now, upon further inspection, the reason for that crack was that the foundation, which had shifted in the back of the house. Well, why did this happen? Well, it backed up to a nature preserve. So when it rained, the house would fill up with water in the back and then erode the back corner of that house. So we had a contractor who came out and he told us it would be $19,000 to correct that foundation issue and $16,000 to correct that roof shift and repair that roofing and $5,000 for the chimney. Then mold started to appear in the ceiling from the previous owner who had painted that ceiling to hide that mold that was coming in from the attic. So after we discovered all of these issues, we got our buyer and client out of that disaster. Yet another unsuspecting home buyer did buy that house at full price. So buyer beware, the deal of the decade is not always a deal. So make sure you know what to look for and what to walk away from. Number two, the house is in the wrong place. Nice brick house, big backyard, it's a fixer-upper. Even if you put money into the house and fix it up, you can only live there 1 or 2 years before getting kicked out. Why? Well, that's because you found out the road is getting widened and the house is going to get demolished to make way for that new road. It's happening. So if it's in the wrong place, it's in the wrong place. Number three, termites. This is very important if you're moving to the south or looking in the south because it's a warm and humid and wet climate. So it's the perfect opportunity for termites to grow. And they could be inside your house. They also don't necessarily show themselves, but if you look along the foundation, you can see termite tunnels, maybe. Sometimes you will see them inside a house in other places. So you look there, or you look up. Okay, so you want to look around. We had a client who was interested in it, and what ended up happening is they backed out of the deal because it was a warm day and we saw termites swarming actually inside the kitchen and inside the bathroom. So the customer that we had got out of that deal, but some unsuspecting buyer actually ended up buying that house. Now, they were inside the middle of the house. They weren't showing on the outside of the house, and they had to rip walls out and the bathroom and the kitchen in order to get to all the damage that was done. So, moral to the story is, do your due diligence. Make sure you get a CL100 from a trustworthy termite inspection company before you make that offer. Number four, before you sign any paperwork, it's smart to know what the past residents were doing inside that house and the house's history. If it had a meth lab or contamination from drug manufacturing, that house may hurt your family's health. Now, is it safe to live in a house that was a meth lab? No, apparently not. And that's why hazmat team is usually called to a house when police find drug situation like this. So nothing escapes that contamination. You know, the carpet, the walls, the furniture, the drapes, the air ducts. Even the air itself becomes toxic. So there's only 27 states that require homeowners to disclose any previous meth labs on that property. So home inspectors may be able to offer testing, but this process can be very expensive and cost thousands of dollars. Is any of this helpful so far? Put it in the comments. Number five, mold. Look, if the house has been sealed for some time in a humid climate, It could be in the attic or it could be in the insulation in the walls. So you want to make sure that when you smell it or you feel it in your lungs, that's a warning sign, but you can also get a test for that. Number 6, roofs. Now these things are not $5,000 or $6,000 anymore. I mean, I'm talking small roofs, even this size, can be $16,000 or $18,000. Number 7, in an old house, the roof trusses. If you see a bow in the roof, you know what that is? Money, because you're gonna have to replace the trusses and the roof. Number 8, what's it located close to? Now when the wind shifts, is it located close to a pulp mill plant or a pig farm? Is it close to a complex where the police show up every night? You know, you want to make sure you walk around the entire neighborhood and the community and the area during the day and during the night. So that way you're going to know what the area is really like. Number 9, what if it's not close to anything? If the location is close to nothing at all? A grocery store, healthcare. What if you saw your arm off while you're repairing that house? Okay, look, how long will it take you to get to the hospital in that case? How far is a drive to pick up building materials or even to get a contractor to come out to look at something? Or your safety, how long would it take for police to respond if you need them? These are important things to remember. Number 10, property lines and easements. Check those easements before you buy. I had one lady who told me she had massive problems with creepy neighbors over an easement, and she eventually had to sell. You don't want that problem. Number 11, title insurance and title work. Now this is very, very important, guys. I'm going to give you a story. I get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly as a real estate broker for all transactions that are closed, and I get to see the clusters. Now, let me give you an example. One house, A, was for sale. Took a while to sell. They finally got a contract on it, and it went into foreclosure the next day. What? Yeah, it happened. Here's why. They didn't know that House A and House B, which was around the corner with a very similar street name, closed at the same attorney's office on the same day 7 years prior. But what happened was the attorney took the title work and transposed the mortgage and the title work backwards. Okay, the attorney went to jail over this. But what happened is the homeowner did not have title insurance on that property. So when they went to sell, the title was a mess. They had to go fight that legally themselves. They took it to court, $10,000 or $12,000 worth of attorney work. The homeowner did not have that much money in the equity in that house, so they just walked away. The reason is because the title company, if you have a title policy, they will go to work for you to get that title cleared. So very important to make sure that you get title policy when you close that transaction. Number 12, HOA. Are you buying in a homeowners association? You want to get a copy of the deed covenants, the meeting minutes, and the current budget before buying. Look, you want to know if they're flush with cash or if there's a cash call and they're asking you for money, or are they going bankrupt, or is there pending litigation? This is the stuff you really want to know before you get involved. Number 13, if you're thinking about buying land and building a house on it, I've got another video here and I'm going to link it in the comments where I go over everything that you need to know, because there's so many steps that you really need to take to do this successfully, just to buy land and to build your own home. On the other hand, buying an affordable house, finding a cheap home, and getting the deal of the decade, it does happen about once a week, guys. But many buyers can find a hidden gem, but really knowing where to find these, what to look for, and what to stay away from is super important. Wouldn't you agree with that? So, wherever you are in the nation, whether it's coastal Carolina area or Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area where I am today, or anywhere in the United States, I have a network of real estate experts that I can hook you up with, and they'll help you find your hidden gem, and also to avoid those pitfalls that are costly. Just go ahead, pick up the phone, give us a call, 843-839-9870. I hope you're enjoying these videos because I'm making them for you. Comment below, let me know if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful to you in any way, and if you've subscribed yet, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.